What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sanchez405 coming at you. It's on the warpath. If you're new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime there's new content posted to the channel. And as always, like, comment, share this video out if you can. I greatly appreciate it. And wanted to give you my thoughts on Marty Schottenheimer, who sadly passed away after a long battle with Alzheimer's disease, and very public one. There was an interview he did with ESPN a few years ago that showed his struggle and what he dealt with this terrible, awful disease. And Marty Schottenheimer was a coach. He won over 200 games in his NFL career. Didn't have a lot of success in the playoffs, 5-13 in that respect. And he only spent 1 year in Washington, but for me growing up, that was the time I really got into watching this team. Started watching the team in '98, but Marty Schottenheimer came in. He was the second coach that I knew as head coach. And he came in a tumultuous time. They had just spent cash-strapped. They were cash-strapped from 2000's spending spree with Dan Snyder under his first full year as owner. And Dan gives Marty full control after spending a little time off after coaching Kansas City and then before that in Cleveland. He comes into Washington and he came to set the record straight. And some people he rubbed the wrong way. Deion Sanders was one who said, I'm not playing for Marty Schottenheimer. Can't do it, won't do it, right? And Darrell Green was rubbed the wrong way, and Darrell Green felt like he was made to be an example instead of being treated fairly like a vet. And they butted heads, and that was very public as well. But the one thing I take away from Marty Schottenheimer being in Washington, they started out 0-5. He started with Jeff George as quarterback. Yes, that Jeff George, who I despise so much. So this is the first positive thing. After starting out 0-2, and getting outscored 67-3. Jeff George was cut him up, and gave him his walking papers. Did Marty Schottenheimer? They still went on to lose 3 more games after that with Tony Banks at the helm. But then something clicked against Carolina, and LeVar Arrington, remember that interception return for a touchdown. Rod Gardner had a big touchdown there. They went in overtime. Brett Conway kicks game-winning field goal, and that's a negative though. Rod Gardner getting drafted over Santana Moss. So he's kind of even right now. He's 8-8, kind of like his record. But they went on to win 5 games in a row. One of the highlights of that 5-game winning streak, they went up to the Vet and beat the Eagles 13-3. And the Eagles, they were like 9th in scoring offense. At home, they were held to their lowest point totals with a young Donovan McNabb. And Marty got these guys coached up to do enough to beat them up there. And also, this was a team that did not score a lot. Only 3 teams scored less points than Washington did in 2001. Marty Schottenheimer later on alluded to in A Football Life that is the Washington job that they did to maintain that 8-8 record or get it going 8-3 down the stretch was his best coaching job. And he had he had Tony Sperano there. His son, Brian, who is down in Jacksonville, was the offensive coordinator in Seattle last year. Kurt Schottenheimer, his brother, Mike Turvac, who has been around the league, and Kirk Ovaldotti, who was a linebackers coach for years here in Washington, and Mike Stock, who was a special teams coach. All these guys came together and put together a functional team. Stephen Davis had one of his best seasons of his career because it's about Marty Ball. That power. The power. That's all it was about, a power running game. And as much as his offense had power, he also had power in his words. Master motivator, a great speaker. He would make people want to run through walls. His number one quote was, "There's a gleam." If you go back and look at the NFL films, and you know it's going to be around here now, there's a gleam, man. There's a gleam. And he talked about the gleam from the lights when you win that Lombardi trophy and the gleam that comes off of that trophy. Now, Marty did get an opportunity to win a Super Bowl champion, so he could not bask in that gleam. And he wasn't a Hall of Famer, which that's crazy, so they couldn't give him his flowers while he was here. The playoff record might have something to do with it, but still, the man won 200 games. Only only 6 other dudes have done that in NFL history. And, I think he got a raw deal in San Diego, too. Not only to us, because at the end of the season, Dan wanted to be Dan, said, well, we need somebody to be the general manager, and you focus on the team. And Marty was like, a man of principle. He said, no. Bye, see you later. When I got spurred, we know how that ended. But Marty also said, it's not about, he told LT this. He said, look at me. It's not about the last play. It's about the next play. Another one of my favorites that I just heard here. It's about climbing a mountain. He said, make sure you watch your feet. 1 foot in front of the other when you're climbing a mountain. Because don't look up. Because you'll lose your foot and you fall back down. Now, granted, I kind of paraphrased that. But he had Drew Brees. He benched Drew Brees 3 times. Future Hall of Famer, Drew Brees. I mean, the guy got a raw deal. He did win a UFL championship with the Virginia Destroyers, but I know that doesn't make up for a Super Bowl or anything like that. But Marty Schottenheimer, he also has touches in the NFL. Even today, Tony Dungy, Bill Cowher, Herm Edwards, Hugh Jackson, guys were under his coaching tree. Tony and Bill, who worked with him, and as a secondaries coach was Dungy, and then Bill Cowher was the defense coordinator, who he affectionately called Billy. Ain't nobody calling Bill Cowher Billy but Marty Schottenheimer. But the guy was good at what he did, and he's going to be sorely missed, but his memory will live on in NFL films. He did have that snake-bitten playoff record, like I mentioned earlier. Ernest Biner fumbling, the John Elway drive, missed kicks in Kansas City, fumbles and interceptions in San Diego that you thought you sealed the game, but Marlon McCree fumbled. And I really do think the Chargers would have won the Super Bowl in 2006. They were 14-2 with Phillip Rivers in his first full year of starting. And it was, it was bad. And no coach, I don't think there's been any coach that has been fired after a 14-2 season. Marty Schottenheimer was. They went and got Norv Turner, which is kind of ironic. He replaced Norv in Washington, but then Norv replaced him in San Diego. And they made it to the AFC Championship game the next season. I don't know if that all could be a credit. I think that's a little bit of the Dungy perspective there, or the Dungy spectrum. John Gruden won the Super Bowl the next year with Dungy's team. Same difference, right? But Marty Schottenheimer disciple, though. And, Marty Schottenheimer, he was a man of principle. He did he did what he felt was right, and he, like I said, he's going to be missed, but he was fun watching. He will live on, like I said, in NFL films. So y'all tell me what you thought about Marty Schottenheimer. I know we got a lot of old heads in here. What did you think about Marty Schottenheimer? A lot of people said his teams were prepared and ready to hit folks in the mouth, and that Marty ball, as they say, and very conservative, but it got the job done. But y'all, I love you guys. Appreciate everything you do to help the channel grow. As always, here I'm Sanchez 405. Love, peace, and hell, and I'll be talking to y'all real soon. I'm out.